Datusri Awante is an entrepreneur with businesses around the world. His company, FusionX, specializes in analytics and big data. The company, which is listed on the London Stock Exchange, also hires Malaysians abroad. A World Bank report from 2011 said that there were as many as 1 million Malaysians overseas. The appointment of Ang Keng Hui as AIA's global head reminds us that there are many talented Malaysians out there. There are many who have made it overseas, and their names are familiar to us. There are lots more who are successful but are largely anonymous. They are in every field imaginable, but a growing number have made their mark as entrepreneurs in recent years. This is their story.
No, I like Malaysia a lot, yeah. Because I live more than half my life outside Malaysia. I went to Hong Kong for the money. I can't speak Cantonese, can't read Chinese, So I had no incentive to go there. I had every incentive to stay here. But there was no career opportunity.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Hazmi bin Heliban. So what is brain drain? The migration of people from one area to another is considered too as brain drain. A brain drain can be caused by internal instability, the availability of better job possibilities in other nations, or the desire to improve one's level of living. Brain drain can occur at the organizational or industrial levels, as well as geographically when employees receive better salary, benefits, or upward mobility within another company or industry. There are also several types or levels of brain drain. Brain drain can occur on several levels, which are geographic, organizational, and industrial brain drain. First is geographic brain drain. Geographic brain drain occurs when smart professionals flee one country or region in search of better and more possibilities in another. Political instability, low quality of life, restricted access to healthcare, and a lack of economic opportunity are all prominent causes of brain drain on a geographical scale. Then, there are organizational and industrial brain drain. Organizational brain drain refers to the widespread migration of bright employees quitting a firm, typically because they see instability or a lack of opportunity within the company, or they believe they can achieve their professional goals more easily at another company. Next is industrial brain drain, occurs when skilled individuals leave not just one company, but an entire industry. These two types of brain drain are typically the result of a fast-changed economic landscape in which organizations and industries that are unable to keep up with technology and societal developments lose their top personnel to others that can. According to the research, nearly 2 million Malaysians live overseas. Around 500,000 of this total highly competent persons over the age of 25, who are more likely to be engaged in a variety of professions.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shumaila binti Balasius. I will explain further about the problem of brain drain issue. Migrating abroad have caused our country facing a brain drain crisis which led to downturn economic. According to the research, there are almost 2 million Malaysians living abroad. Out of this total, about 5,000 are highly skilled adults over the age of 25, who are more likely to find employment across a range of professions. This brain drain crisis happened because of the political instability problem. Political instability is the political structure of a country's government being unstable and the tendency to fall apart immediately. It happened in our country because of variety of reasons have occurred, such as government incompetence economic problems, high crime rates, and it can also be happened by conflict between the political parties and leaders in our country. It has caused the majority of Malaysians to move in order to avoid becoming entangled in the issues brought on by our own leaders. Moreover, brain drain also occurs because of poor quality of life. Basically, Malaysia is a welcoming, comfortable country with a high level of living and very low crime rate. Living in Malaysia undoubtedly has more advantages than disadvantages. However, the quality of life in Malaysia is actually low and causes migration to occur. Although the cost of living in Malaysia is lower than United States, the salary offered is lower and sometimes it is not commensurate with the job. Due to the Malaysia's economy not being competitive with the other nation, the quality of life for Malaysians is poor and the country's happiness score is also low. Lastly, a shortage of economic opportunity when the supply of products and services cannot keep up with the demand. An economic shortage result. In this situation, there will be a lot of demand for products or services, but there won't be enough supply to meet that need, which will drive up prices. When compared to the demand scarce, resources like labor, land, and capital are insufficient. The needs and desires of people are limitless and continue to grow. Therefore, due to the lack of resources, they cannot be satisfied. That is why many talented people in our country tend to live outside Malaysia because the opportunity for them to work, make investment or open a new business is limited because the resources provided by the government is too limited. Even if they manage to open a new business, however, the profit they receive cannot pay back the capital invested. High dependence on external labor is the cause of the country's economic weakness.
Hello everyone, I am Marshalla Kanggu and right now I will be explaining the implications of the brain drain issue. In present era, the dilemma of brain drain is not unusual, particularly among our country's recent graduates. Essentially, this phenomenon refers to the situation in which highly skilled and educated people leave their home country to live in other developed countries permanently. Brain drain is indeed a serious concern for any country because it involves the relocations of people from the home country to another foreign country. People frequently travel abroad to pursue higher educations and then settle down due to the better job opportunities and also attractive pay packages. This is due to the fact that most of these people wanted to live a better life with decent living standards and quality of life in developed countries as higher wages, access to advanced technology, and more stable political conditions all attract migrants from less developed countries to work abroad. However, if the government does not address this situation effectively, it will have a disastrous impact on a specific country, particularly in terms of economic stability, development in various aspects, and others. As a result of this persistence of this issue, here are some of the implications that can be thoroughly identified. To begin with, the first implications of brain drain is that a country will face a shortage of potential professionals in various fields. Potential professionals with a wide range of skills play critical roles in a country's development, particularly in stimulating economic growth. This is because the majority of these people want to earn income and salaries that are more in line with the expertise of their work. The minimum wage in Malaysia is significantly lower than the wage that they will earn outside of the country. In comparison to Malaysia, highly skilled Malaysians will earn an average salary and income of 140,971 ringgit in China. As a result, this clearly demonstrates why most of these professionals prefer to serve overseas rather than in their home country, where they enjoy many benefits and can earn a large salary. As a result of the phenomenon of brain drain, the country will incur high costs in importing service and consulting professionals from abroad, as the country is short of professionals in various fields such as medicine, engineering, software engineering, and also automotive. On the other hand, the issue of brain drain will result in waste of government revenue, particularly in the area of education. Every year, thousands of Malaysian students are sent abroad to further their education in countries such as United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. However, not all sponsored students return to work in the country after graduations because a few foreign graduates choose to stay and work in the country or continue to obtain citizenships in the countries in question. There are numerous initiatives available, such as scholarships awarded to the students who excel in high school to help them pursue their studies abroad through organizations such as MARA. However, several students who had been sponsored to further their education chose to continue serving in another country rather than to return to their home country. Finally, the government investment in these students will be a waste because they will not be returning to the country to contribute through the applications of knowledge and skills that they have gained because they believe that working abroad will add more value, skills and experience as well as broad exposure to the utilizations of advanced technology that cannot be gained in Malaysia. Aside from that, the issue of brain drain will contribute to the country's economic instability. The economy of a country is extremely important to be cared for because when it is unstable, a country will face enormous problems in developing and administering the country. Thus, professionals and highly skilled workers are required because they will be the medium that will help in stabilizing the economic conditions of a country where money and currency will not be able to circulate without them. This is due to the fact that they contribute significantly and directly to the tax payment, such as income tax. As we all know, taxes are a nation's largest sources of revenue because they are used by the government to administer and manage all of the country's activities. For example, in providing public facilities, building numerous infrastructure such as highways, transportation amenities, and others. To summarize, brain drain is indeed a serious problem that the government must address and manage wisely. Without a proper initiative, all of these potential and skilled workers will flee to another countries and continue to serve abroad, just like what had been done by Dr. Amalina Bakri.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Zahran bin Kamanran, and I will talk about the recommendation of these brain drain issues. So for the first recommendation is Malaysia's government is now collaborating with the Talent Corporation to change the rules governing abroad scholarships in order to entice Malaysians who are already working abroad to return home. It has also developed the returning expert program, a 15% flat tax, a tax exemption for all personal effects brought home, and permanent resident status for a spouse and children are some of its benefits. As part of Talent Corp's strategy to retain and grow the local talent already there, initiatives are also being launched to improve the local abilities of local students in Malaysia. These kinds of programs make it easier to establish a skilled and ready to work workforce by providing the talent with pertinent industry information and expertise. Talent Corps also provide the structured internship program, which is SIP that encourage businesses to offer students in high-quality learning experience. It is a hope that the brain drain issue will be solved, enabling Malaysia to achieve its high-income nation status. To do this, employers in Malaysia are starting to evolve the method they use to find talent. For the second recommendation, that is to raise wages, which are a major barrier to diaspora returning to Malaysia, more policies are required. The government must also reform the system for vocational training and make sure that the skills being created are in the line with the market. They have formed the Government Transformation Program, which is GTP, and Economic Transformation Program, which is ETP, to address the issue from these viewpoints. The government wants to solve the problem of non-inclusiveness for Bumiputeras through the GTP. They identify productivity and inclusivity as the important variables to solve immigration. The One Malaysia initiatives, which urge Malaysians to no longer identify their culture by race, but rather by nationality, was introduced through it by the previous Prime Minister, which is Datuk Seri Najib Razak, by expanding opportunities for income generation across the economy, encouraging investment in human capital and providing social protection for the weak and disadvantaged. The World Bank Monetary Report's 2010 edition advocated a three-pillar strategy for achieving One Malaysia. Malaysian diaspora in the US has a wide range of experiences and ideas on how to limit brain drain. Suggestions include allowing dual citizenship, practicing meritocracy in hiring and increasing transparency in policymaking, and strengthening the role of the media. Also suggested are reducing government intervention in the economy and adopting system of international standards in pay and benefits.
Hello, I'm Mohammad Hidayat. So I will talk about the recommendation or suggestion. So the first suggestion or recommendation is increasing productivity in high-skill occupation. Many of them are in the public sector, thus rising salaries will encourage employees to stay. High-skilled professionals will continue to leave the country without public sector change. Thus, private sector growth and job creation must go hand in hand with them. The workforce must develop new skills and update their current ones due to the evolving nature of work, which places an increasing emphasis on digital and modern technologies. The majority of jobs today call for intermediate or advanced digital skills. The development of technology has led to a decline in the importance of jobs that require manual labor. As a result, the government needs to support ongoing training more. In Malaysia, HRD Corporation was one of the first organizations to address lifelong learning. It developed a platform that assisted several sectors including manufacturing, services, mining and quarrying, construction, agriculture, forestry, and fishery, in recycling and upskilling their workers. To create a workforce with a high level of expertise, these efforts must be coordinated. So the next one is tackling underemployment. Companies looking to fill positions should use the utmost caution in addressing any underemployment issues they may have. A person needs to be hired in accordance with his or her qualifications, abilities, and academic standing. Work performance and efficiency are greatly influenced by the designation and posts that have been given to the individual. By offering financial advantages to returning immigrants, nation can successfully promote the return of the highly trained profession. Economic growth may be aided by migrant workers returning home, particularly if they bring expertise and capital, and if their home nation create the ideal environment for them to utilize their knowledge and experience to the fullest. The best long-term strategy for countries to stop their brain drain is to give their citizens a reason to stay by preventing them from leaving in the first place. This includes offering them a better employment, more opportunities, and a higher quality of living. For example, it is more difficult for a nation to uphold a high intellectual and academic standard when a large number of its most industrious and intelligent citizens depart that nation. It's not just about holding on to the brains, but also giving them the environment to thrive. Otherwise, we are just processing them like commodities for export to rich countries, but unlike commodities, getting nothing back in return. Thank you.
Exploring the literature on the brain drain issue leads us to the conclusion that the phenomena is highly real and current from several societal perspectives. Because human capital and knowledge are the driving forces behind every country's progress, it is reasonable to argue that brain drain from undeveloped and emerging countries is damaging to their overall condition. On the other hand, nations where educated individuals can find work and improve living conditions are in a position to brain gain. However, When we examine the current hypothesis, we discovered three fundamentally opposing economic perspectives on the consequence of brain drains. A variety of push and pull variables impact the brain drain phenomena, which range from general social, economic, family geographical, and environmental situations. According to the recent research, when a high number of young people choose to study in democratic nations abroad, the home country will experience a strong democratic effect. Those who leave their home countries after graduation, on the other hand, continue to send money generally for various family reasons, which has a significant economic relevance in most developing nations. The globalization dimension must not be overlooked while studying any social phenomenon. It has an impact on the conversion of the brain drain phenomena to the brain circulation phenomenon. With that, there are recommendations such as increasing productivity in high-skilled occupation, tackling underemployment, government collaboration like Talent Corp, and introduce the structured internship program. HRD Corp was one of the earliest organizations in Malaysia to address lifelong learning. It created a platform to help people in numerous industries, including manufacturing, services, mining and quarrying, construction, agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, reskill and upskill. It is also vital to combat workplace discrimination against women. Then, collaborations between multiple firms and academic institutions can raise the caliber of the depth of talent available to everyone, generally at a lower cost and with more social advantages than partnerships between a single company and a local academic institution. Other than that, the government and Talent Corp are negotiating to change the laws regulating foreign scholarships so that beneficiaries might fulfill their duty by working for a Malaysian private firm that will fully use their abilities rather than the government. Last but not least, the structured internship program promotes firms to provide high-quality learning experiences to students as early as possible in order to introduce them to the working world. This program is provided in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher Education. While this program allows students to demonstrate their talents as potential workers, companies may utilize it to review and choose interns who fit the requirement for joining their team. That's all from us. Thank you.